இலங்கை போரில் பாதிக்கப்பட்ட மக்களுக்கான நீதி மற்றும் இந்திய பாகிஸ்தான் எல்லை பிரச்சினைக்கான தீர்வு குறித்து ஐநா பொதுச் செயலாளரின் செய்தி தொடர்பாளர் ஸ்டீஃபன் டுஜாரிக்கிடம் சிறப்பு செய்தியாளர் ஹரிஹரன் நடத்திய நேர்காணலை இப்போது பார்க்கலாம்.
Sri Lanka, though there is a mechanism now, there is a hybrid mechanism now, there is a complaint and there is a lot of criticism, especially amongst the Tamil diaspora, saying the process is moving very slow, the pace is very slow, and the accountability and justice is getting inordinately delayed. What is your response to those criticisms?
I think if one puts yourself in the shoes of those who have suffered in the past decade and in the past through the history of Sri Lanka, one can understand the frustration at the slow pace of the process. I think the Human Rights Council has given strong guidance. The Secretary General, when he was in Sri Lanka, received commitment from the government to their commitment for accountability. The United Nations is there to accompany the process in as much as we can. The Secretary General went up to Jaffna when he was in Sri Lanka, met with the local population, heard their concerns, and I think for the United Nations, the violence that we saw in Sri Lanka over the last years under the previous government was also a great lesson for us in the sense that we feel that the UN system did let people down. I think the UN staff didn't speak up enough when human rights were violated, and that has led the Secretary General to develop a policy called Human Rights Up Front, which basically says we need to put human rights at the center of what we do, and that each individual staff member of the United Nations has a responsibility to speak up and to speak up loud when human rights are violated.
Escalating tension between India and Pakistan. The number of attacks and the cross-border terrorism that emanates from the other side of the soil, especially from Pakistan, is escalating. It's of very high concern. How does the Office of the Secretary General view this? And what steps do you think are required to de-escalate tension between these two countries?
I think over the last few weeks, the Secretary General has seen with increasing concern the situation in Kashmir and the situation across the line of control. It's a very tense situation, one that's of concern to us. The Secretary General's push, his consistent message is that the issues over Kashmir between India and Pakistan be dealt with in a constructive and diplomatic manner between the two capitals.